Hi folks, I'm James and welcome to Travels with Paddles. It's the first paddle of 2022 for us, and to bring in the new year I thought I'd change the format of the videos a little bit and actually talk to you about where we are and where we're going. So here we go. So today we're paddling on the Kennet and Avon Canal. We're starting and finishing at Newbury Wharf, and we're going to paddle along the Kennet and Avon Canal until it meets the Kennet River, and then we're going to transition down onto the river and then paddle back along the river back to here again. So enjoy the paddle. Here's a map of the route for you to use as a reference. Newbury's an old market town in the county of Berkshire in England. It makes for a scenic start to our paddle as you get to go right through the heart of the old town. I'm really impressed at just how many birds this lady's managed to attract by spreading birdseed along the waterfront. It's also pretty impressive just how straight she's laying the birdseed down. We've done this paddle a number of times and it's always a bit of an epic because there are so many obstacles to negotiate, especially on the Kennet River section on the way back home. But this is our first easy obstacle. It's Newbury Lock. Surprising to see a hot air balloon out given the misty weather. West Mills Swing Bridge is always a challenge because it's so close down to the water surface. The kayaks sort of have to use the ledge on the left and lean against it. In the canoe, you have to adjust the position of the weight in the boat to get the bow under the edge of the bridge. Then you have to lie completely flat, as Hannah's demonstrating here, and sort of walk your way under with your hands. We're just catching a glimpse of the Kennet River there, which is the route that we'll be taking on the way back. But first we have our next obstacle, which is Guyer's Lock, and it wasn't looking too good. The lock was under maintenance, and at first we were a bit worried there would be no water on the other side if they were maintaining the rest of the canal. But there was water, so we portaged round and carried on. Which is when we then ran into ice. In over 10 years of paddling, I've never paddled through ice, so this was a first for me. Initially it was quite thin and we didn't have any trouble punching through it, but it did get thicker, and so we turned the canoe into an icebreaker, proper icebreaker, by moving Hannah backwards, lifting the bow out of the water and riding over the top of the ice and breaking it downwards. It worked really well. As soon as we got to the next weir, there was a bit more flow in the canal, and that's it, no more ice. The gates on Higgs Lock were in pretty bad condition, and the canal trust had actually closed off the sluices so you couldn't use the lock. So we had to portage again. Thankfully Benham Lock was okay. If you do decide to paddle this route, then after Benham Lock you need to look out for weirs. Ignore the first little weir on the right hand side, but then when you get to the second much larger weir you need to stop. This is what it looks like. As this is about halfway through the paddle, we decided to have our lunch break. You now transition down from the canal onto the river which passes below it. This is a view of the same weir but from the river instead of the canal. There are a number of weirs on this section of the river. Some of them are passable, but this one really isn't, so it's portage time again. This tiny weir is fine though. This weir might be runnable in a small boat, but there's not much head clearance, so we portaged again. Just after the weir, you see this sluice and there's a sort of T-junction in the river and you need to take the right-hand branch. There's now a series of tiny weirs which are very small and easy to shoot, and quite fun too. Just after the road bridge is where the foliage started to become a bit of an obstacle. At this tree, Paul was trying to clear a route by breaking some branches, but the flow caught him sideways on and pinned him against the tree. We tried to get him out using the painter and pulling him out, but we couldn't do it, so in the end I jumped out, pulled his boat from the front. This next weir looked like it might just be runnable, but I decided to have a closer look. I couldn't really see how clear the path was from the bank, so I decided to jump down into the river for a better view. No, I don't think so. Not enough room. There are a lot more trees down in this section than we've had previously when we've done this trip. And here's the last obstacle on the river section. It's a metal bar placed across the river to stop barges coming up from the canal. We managed to get over it by seesawing over the top by carefully balancing the boat. And then it's pretty much clear paddling back to Newbury. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed the video. It'd be great to hear your thoughts on the new format in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time, stay safe on the water.